Okay, well, welcome everyone. My name is Sandra Ferreira, and I would like to thank you very much for being here today. Before we get started, I would like to thank the thousands of advocates across Danbury who have done so much work to ensure the voices in our community have been heard. From street canvassing before the COVID pandemic to phone banking, emailing, letter writing, and the many Zoom meetings and advocacy actions we've taken. I am so heartened by the commitment of this community. I also want to thank the local and statewide press for continuing to cover Connecticut's education. Thank you for being here today. If you have any questions or would like to speak directly with any of our speakers today, please drop your questions or requests in the chat along with your email, and we will follow up with you right after the event. With the governor's budget on the horizon, we are coming together to make our request very clear. We are asking Governor Lamont to continue his commitment to education, equity in Connecticut, and fund Danbury Prospect Charter Schools. With that, I'd like to turn it over to our first speaker, María Matos, who is a Danbury resident, parent, and an active member of Latinos for Educational Advocacy.
Thank you, Sandra. Hello, I'm María Matos, and I'd like to thank you for giving us the opportunity to share with you our case for education. Connecticut has a long history of education activists fighting for quality, equitable public school options for students and families like mine. I want to acknowledge some of those leaders today. Leaders like former Connecticut State Education Commissioner and future U.S. Secretary of Education, Miguel Cardona. He has been a fierce advocate for improving public schools and supporting schools like Stanford Charter School for Excellence, one of the state's highest performing schools. I want to thank leaders like Senator Dennis Bradley, advocate for 4,000 families in Danbury when we were in need for leaders advocating for us in the state legislature. In the same spirit of Latino leaders, like future Secretary Cardona and Senator Bradley, we want to continue the fight for education, equity, and call on, I'm sorry, I'm breathing, I'm nervous.
Okay, you're good. So important, appreciate you.
Thank you so much, thank you so much. In the same spirit of Latino leaders, like future Secretary Cardona and Senator Bradley, we want to continue the fight for education, equity, and call upon our state leaders to ensure Danbury students have access to every quality public school opportunity that is on the table. Governor Lamont has been a strong advocate for public education and has used his position to support our public schools during an incredible challenging year. And today, we are calling on him to do the right thing and to continue to put students ahead of politics. We are asking him to fund Danbury Prospect Charter School in his upcoming state budget. Help us open Danbury Prospect by urging Governor Lamont to fund DPCS in his upcoming budget. We have two ways to take action today. The first option is calling Governor Lamont at 860-566-4840. Again, that is 860-566-4840. Or you can email the governor texting the letters D Danbury, P Prospect, C Charter, S School to the number 52886. Again, text DPCS to 52886. Thank you so much for your support. God bless you all.
Thank you, Maria. Thank you very much for your time and for your commitment to the community. And now I would like to introduce Minnie Santosh. Minnie is a resident of the city of Danbury, a proud parent of two beautiful boys, and also an educator for the last 30 years. Minnie.
Hi, my name is Minnie Santosh, as introduced. I'm a resident of Danbury for over 20 years and an educator for over 30 years and a very proud parent of an 11-year-old. So we all know that the true strength of this beautiful city of Danbury is its diversity. We have families from different cultures who speak different languages and have different perspectives, especially related to education. That is what attracted me to Danbury Prospect Charter Schools, a school that reflects the diversity of their students and teachers and will bring a new chapter of equity and excellence to the educational landscape of this amazing city. Danbury Prospect has built a culture of intentional diversity, designed a world-class international bachelor program, and has developed a culturally rich curriculum. As an educator and as a parent, I feel that the biggest barrier to educational equity in Danbury is denying our students access to this great opportunity and continuing to ignore the voices of our community. Help us open Danbury Prospect by urging Governor Lamont to fund Danbury Prospect charter schools in his upcoming budget. We have two ways to take action today. The first option is always calling the governor, Governor Lamont, at 860-566-4840. I'll repeat again, 860-566-4840. Or you can always email him, the governor, texting the letters.
Did we lose you, Minnie, or did I freeze?
And again, text DPCS to the number 5286. I'm not sure if I lost because I do see my internet went away for a little bit.
Okay, it
Do
happens.
you want me to repeat a part of it, the line?
I think we're great because our next speaker will also provide that information, Minnie, and it will be written in our chats so everybody will know. So thank you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Minnie. And so I keep thanking you all because I know time is precious and time is money, and this is very important, and I really appreciate you all. And now I would like to present PJ Purty. He is the President and CEO of the Greater Danbury Chamber of Commerce. And thank you so much, PJ. Oh, and I should say father to two beautiful boys and a great wife.
Excellent.
Thank you so much for being here, for your support, for your continued support with Latinos for Educational Advocacy. Welcome.
Thank you, Sandra. I appreciate that. And good afternoon, everyone. As Sandra mentioned, my name is PJ Purty. I'm a long time and current resident of the city of Danbury and presently serve as the president and CEO of the Greater Danbury Chamber of Commerce. The advocacy that LEAD and the Danbury community have done to support local education initiatives, including the opening of Danbury Prospect, is monumental. And I'm here today to lend my voice to this fight. And we have seen over 4,000 Danbury residents, and the vast majority of them Latino residents, call on the governor and Danbury's delegation to open Danbury Prospect. Danbury prides itself as a community intent on listening to each other and growing. When Commissioner Cardona and, God willing, soon to be Secretary Cardona, approved Danbury Prospect with high marks, he was listening to Danbury. Now we need our delegation and the governor to listen to Danbury as well. I support the opening of Danbury Prospect because they will provide immediate relief for our most prominent issues in the current education crisis that Danbury faces. First, it will be able to serve roughly 880 students, bringing massive help in our overcrowding issue. And second, DPCS can purchase a building without taxpayer support, whereas an alternative option would cost taxpayers, the city and the state, in excess of $100 million. These savings would allow Danbury to prioritize issues of equity and opportunity within our public school system. We really should be looking at all options when it comes to public education. Now more than ever, we need creative solutions to difficult financial challenges when it comes to the funding of our public schools. and the Greater Danbury Chamber of Commerce sees Danbury Prospect Charter School as one of those key solutions. Please help us open Danbury Prospect by urging Governor Lamont to fund DPCS in its upcoming budget. We have two ways to take action today. If you've just hopped on, we'll be saying this again. The first option is calling Governor Lamont at 860-566-4840. Again, that number is 860-566-4840. Or you can email the governor by texting the letters DPCS to the number 52886. Again, you can text the letters DPCS to 52886. Thank you much for the opportunity to speak this afternoon. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much, PJ. It really is an honor to have all of you here supporting Latinos for Educational Advocacy. And now I would like to turn it over to Rachel Schleske. Rachel is a representing the Danbury community and also a member of the Board of Education. Thank you, Rachel, and welcome. And thank you for taking the time to be here.
Hi, Sandra.
Hi.
Sorry I couldn't log on earlier. Thank you for having me. I just want to come on here to say, I truly am proud and support the advocacy that LEAD and the Danbury community have done to support local education initiatives. That includes the opening of Danbury Prospect. All of your voices are having an impact already, are truly significant. And I'm here to offer my support as well. Again, as PJ mentioned, we have over 4,000 Danbury residents. The vast majority of them are Latino residents. Call on the governor and Danbury's delegation to open Danbury Prospect. We are progressing through this COVID-19 pandemic together and supporting one another and listening to each other. And we know the power our community holds. Help us to open Danbury Prospect by urging Governor Lamont to fund DPCS in his upcoming budget. Thank you so much for having me again.
Thank you, Rachel. We really appreciate you and all of the support you are providing to our Latinos for Educational Advocacy group. Very blessed to have you all here. And now I would like to turn it over to Gabriella Perez. Gabriella was raised in Danbury and is also a Danbury Public School graduate. Welcome, Gabi.
Hi, thank you so much for having me, and thank you for giving me this platform to speak my piece. So my name is Gabriella Perez. As Sandra mentioned, I'm a Danbury resident and a recent Danbury High School graduate, and it is because of my experience in our public schools that I'm here today asking Governor Lamont to fund Danbury Prospect. I really admire Governor Lamont because I know how fervently he fights for educational equity and because of his tenacity. And that's why I'm here today asking him to consider gifting my Latino community with the funding necessary to open Danbury Prospect. This is a school that will fight for diversity, a school that values representation and understands the importance of teaching Black and Latino history. This is a school that Danbury needs in order to move one step closer to education equity. I wholeheartedly support Danbury Prospect because the school strives to create a safe place in which staff and students reflect our community and every student can feel represented and cared for. When students are taught by educators who look like and sound like them, they blossom into leaders. And I cannot think of anything this city needs more desperately than a school that will serve our most vulnerable. Danbury families are unified in their support of DPCS, and thousands of supporters have met with, called, and emailed their elected officials. We've held rallies, we've been to the Capitol, and now we have a donor providing millions of dollars for a school building. We have been fighting to open the school for years, and our community has spoken loud and clear. So again, I ask Governor Lamont to please include Danbury Prospect Charter School in your upcoming budget and give Danbury families the gift of a new tuition-free public school with an international curriculum and a diverse teaching staff. Our community members have shown so much support, and now it's time for our elected leaders to act. I sincerely hope that Danbury families will be able to reap the benefits of Danbury Prospect Charter School. So help us open Danbury Prospect by urging Governor Lamont to fund DPCS in his upcoming budget. I will say it again in case you missed it. We have 2 ways to take action today. The first option is to call Governor Lamont at 860-566-4840. Again, that number is 860-566-4840. Or you can email the governor by texting the letters DPCS to the numbers 5252886. Again, text DPCS to 52886. Thank you so much for taking action today.
Thank you, Gabby, and I too appreciate you. And again, on behalf of Latinos for Educational Advocacy, I am grateful to have the support of our very powerful community and of course of our Latino voices. Thank you, Rachel, and thank you, Minnie. Thank you, Maria, PJ. Again, these are our efforts to continue to advocate for our community. I do want to, I know that we have a few press on the call, on the Zoom call. And so if you have any questions that you would like to ask our panelists or myself or Maria that are part and Gabby that are part of LEAD, we would be more than happy to answer those questions now. But if there aren't any questions, I do encourage you to email me. My email is right in the chat. Feel free to send me information, or if you're looking for information, I would be more than happy to provide that to you. And again, thank you all. Last push. We appreciate you all and thank you very much for the support.